Hello, good morning. Nice to see you here. My name's Doris Livingstone. I'm the homeschool lead at Action for Canada. And I thought it'd be kind of fun today if you could write in the chat how long you've been homeschooling. And if you're a grandparent and you're listening in, maybe write down who you know in your life that is how long they've been homeschooling. And it's just fun to see that. You can even write down where you're from. It's always fun to know where you're from, what part of Canada. Okay. Welcome again, everybody. And we now have a guest here, Grace Peters. She's going to help us organize the homeschool life. And many of you have started already, and you're trying to figure out, how do I fit everything in? There's a lot going on. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting food on the table for supper. I remember having that 5 o'clock panic attack, and I would go in my deep freeze and I'd pull out this big roast that was frozen. I went, too late. So I would take it out for the next day. And there's just little things like that kind of overwhelm us. And so Grace is going to help us. And she's from Rhythms of Grace Homeschool Life. She's put together a home management resource called the Simplified Homeschool Life Bundle, an organizational toolkit that will help you along the way so you can enjoy the homeschooling weeks and years ahead. We're going to cover school routines, daily and weekly meal plans, daily habits, cleaning lists, printables for moms and for kids, and maybe if we have time, some morning baskets, which are always fun to hear about. So Grace will also share her homeschooling experience, and we want to welcome you, Grace Peters. Tell us how you got started in homeschooling, why, and how long you've been doing that for.
Sure. Thank you, Doris. So my name is Grace Peters, and I am a wife and homeschool mom to four. Although I only have three homeschooling now. Our oldest, she graduated in 2023. And so now I have a 12th grader, a 10th grader, and a 6th grader. And homeschooling was never our intention. I had grown up homeschooling and I really loved it, but it was never something that we had planned to do. And so the night that we were going to enroll our oldest in kindergarten, we had to line up super early to be able to get her into that school. I think it was like February or something, and my husband was going to go sign her up. And that night I had no peace. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't get comfortable with the idea of putting her in school. And yet that's what everybody was doing. So I felt like something was wrong with me, but really it was something God was putting on my heart, and he was encouraging us to homeschool. And so I tossed and turned with the idea for quite a while. Probably about 3 a.m, I finally said, okay, Lord, if this is what you're calling us to do, I will look into it. And so I woke my husband up and I said, hey, I think we should homeschool. I can't sleep. God's been putting this on my heart. What do you think? And he said, sure, let's look into it. And so after that, I was able to sleep. And we're going on year 15 this year. And it's been the best decision we've ever made. And it's been hard, definitely hard. There's been times that I wanted to give up. I wanted to pack the kids onto the school bus. Sometimes I wanted to send certain kids to military school because I was having enough. God has carried us through, and it's been something we've done since the beginning, and it's been so worth it.
Oh, that's awesome. So tell us how you started to think about creating this program, and then maybe just go ahead and start just sharing everything with us.
Yeah, okay. So when I first started our journey, I was very overwhelmed. I was very discouraged. I was frustrated. I wanted to be a great wife and a great mom. I wanted to take care of our home. I wanted to do a really good job of homeschooling, but instead I just felt like I was failing. There was some really hard days, but I knew that I had a strong conviction that it was what God called us to. And so I had to either keep going with the way things were or figure out how to make it better, how to not just go through the motions and be frustrated and discouraged and even resentful, but to actually go through the homeschool journey with joy, with grace, and with intention. And so I had to figure out kind of like why I was discouraged, why I was frustrated, why I was overwhelmed. And it was two things. It was my attitude and my mindset. I hadn't fully, I guess, embraced that this was my life, that homeschooling was my life. I always wanted to be a wife and a mom, but homeschooling was definitely something that took a while for me to make peace with and start enjoying. But it really started with my mindset and my attitude. The next thing I needed to do was figure out like rhythms, routines, habits, plans, things that would support our day, support me in my role as a homeschool mom and a homemaker. And yeah, so that's how I got started with creating different products for myself, finding tools that worked to help me stay organized in the day-to-day, whether it was like meals, cleaning, organizing, the schoolwork, like all of it. So I just started creating tools for myself, started sharing them with friends, other homeschool moms who really love them. And yeah, so it's just been a process of figuring out what works and organizing and planning and coming up with systems and routines and things. So yeah, so today,
Yeah, go ahead and show us
yeah.
all the goods.
So in talking about like organizing the homeschool life, there is so many things that we can organize for homeschooling. So supplies, curriculum, different resources, but we're not actually talking about those things today because it's really hard to have an organized homeschool if the rest of our life is in chaos. And so today we're going to talk a bit about morning routines, school day routines, daily habits, simplifying home management, and simplifying meals. Now, these are just my opinions. These are just things that have worked for me. Every family is different. Everybody's situation is different. And things have changed for myself with the seasons, depending on like whether I had a newborn or whether, my kids were teenagers or so. There's no set system or routine that works for everybody. So as amazing of a journey as homeschooling can be, it can also be very overwhelming, confusing, frustrating. And life as a mom is busy already, even without adding the homeschooling to it. So trying to balance it all it's a lot. But I have found the best way to stay organized in my homeschool life is with good habits. The things that we do daily, the things that we do weekly, in our home, in our homeschool, personally, like those will affect our life. And so our habits will either move us towards our goals or away from them. So starting with morning routines, morning routines are a set of activities that you are going to do every day with the purpose of setting your day up for success. It's like setting the foundation of a home. So tell me if this sounds familiar to anybody, especially when your kids are little. You wake up, say, 5:30, 6, whatever time they wake up, your brain is already going with all the things you have to do for the day. Kids need to be fed, baby needs to be fed, diapers need to be changed, and then before you know it, it's like 2 p.m. and you're still in your pajamas. You're trying to decide, like, do I do the dishes that have been in the sink all day? Do I have a nap? Do I have a shower? Like, what do you choose? I know that was what things were like for me at the beginning. And I did not like personally being in my pajamas till 2 p.m. Like, I felt like I hadn't gotten anything done. I felt like I wasn't ready for the day. And so I didn't want to just be surviving each day. I wanted to thrive. I wanted to get through all the things that needed to be done and even have time for myself if possible. And so I got to a point where I didn't want to keep going. I wanted more. I wanted things to be better. And so, excuse me, I wanted to be proactive instead of reactive. And so I decided to start creating a morning routine for myself. Sorry, excuse me a second. So I started setting up habits. And the habits were, it was so that I could be focused, productive, and also operate from a place of peace. I wanted to use my time and energy in a way that would allow me to achieve my goals for myself, for homeschooling, for the home. And so sometimes it was things that had to get done, but it was also things that I wanted to get done. I was able to, with a morning routine, I was able to prioritize a bit of self-care for myself. It provided some structure for our homeschool day, as well as helped me to get things done throughout around the house. So I would break my morning routine down into different areas. So for myself, it's like personal. So spiritually and physically, I like having a quiet time in the morning, getting some exercise, being able to shower and get ready for the day. Like those are important to me. Some people, that might not be their morning routine. Maybe they shower in the evening. Maybe they exercise with their kids in the afternoon, right? Like it's going to look different for everybody. And then as far as for home management, having the dishes done so that they weren't piling up all day. So making sure like the dishwasher was unloaded so that dishes could go straight into the dishwasher. And then that also meant having the dishes done at night, making sure they were done in the evening. And then for our school morning routine, so I hope it's okay if I talk about morning basket here, Doris. So for the morning routine, I was finding that there were certain things I wanted to get done with the kids that if I left them to the afternoon, like if everybody went off and did their own individual work, it was really hard to collect everybody and have them all come back. And so originally I thought a morning basket was just like another thing to add to the to-do list. And I already felt like we had enough to do. But when I realized I could use it to take care of those things that I wanted to do as a family first thing in the morning, it actually really set our day up well. I felt like it set it up for success because those things were already done, and then everybody could go back and do what they needed to do. So our morning basket, very simple. It is, we read the Bible, we do a devotional together. The kids and I they all do history together. So we'll do it at that time. And then a read aloud. And that's it. Some people will add poetry and different things, something called a morning menu. That's usually for when kids are littler. But that has been helpful in getting our day going. So the kids know like, okay, morning basket, everybody's had breakfast, we do our morning basket, and then they go on to their individual work. And that way we get those things done. Let's see what else. Yeah, so that's a little bit about like our morning routine and how it's good for me, it's good for the kids, it's good for the home. Like it kind of covers all those things. Yeah, do you have any questions or anything about that before I move on?
I was just thinking, so as the kids change and grow and develop into another, age of maturity and understanding, do you assess what you put in that morning basket like monthly or like per year or like a semester? Because I was just thinking when they're little, I didn't do morning baskets. That wasn't a thing when my kids were little. I think it's an amazing thing actually, and I would highly recommend it because it gives you that time in the morning to do well, like you said, prepares you, and then mom can maybe do the other things that also need to get done at the same time. Yeah, so how did you develop that part and change and adapt it?
Well, I actually didn't do it when the kids were younger. Like I said, I felt like it was adding another thing. And so I put it off for a really long time. It was just in the last couple years when we started doing history together. Um, like we were already doing like a devotional and we would read the Bible, but it was when we started doing history together and a read aloud more often that I started doing a morning basket. Um, yeah, and I've kept it pretty much the same thing throughout. Like at one point, I had tried to add poetry and other things, and it just felt like we were just going through the motions because somebody had said we had to. And I mean, there's so many things you could add to it, and it's wonderful for that. But for me personally, it was just what I felt like we was important to me for us to get done together each day. Um, so yeah, I haven't really had a lot of experience doing it when they were younger, and changing things up. So that's just what's
Yeah.
worked.
And that's a really good point you made, because you have to do what works for you and your family. And sometimes you get bombarded, especially when you're learning how to homeschool, you get bombarded by how other people are doing things and that you should too. And
Mhm.
maybe it's not even relevant to what you're doing, but you think you
Yeah,
have to because that's what others are doing. And so that comes with this time and learning. And yeah, everybody figures out what the rhythm will be for their family.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So now talking about school day routines. So this is going to look different for everyone as well, and it changes from year to year depending on the age of your kids. It depends on how many kids you have. But I have found that having a school day routine, or not even a routine because that seems to be more set, but kind of a rhythm, it helps everybody to know what to expect for the day and for the week. Um, so when I first started homeschooling, um, I actually I actually didn't make it a priority. I kind of it was one of those things that I would get to when everything else was done, but everything else was never done. There was always something to do. So I would put it off and put it off. And I realized that I needed to plan for it. I needed to make it a priority and I needed to do it early in the day so that it would actually get done. Um, so um, once I finally got into a routine with her, each kid that we added to the school routine, um, that would we would have to kind of change the rhythm and how things would go, because I would have to work with the younger kids the most. So um, I had tried setting up like an hour by hour schedule, but it didn't go well at all. I would say, okay, we're going to do math today, give us an hour or so to do math. And one kid would be done their work in like 20 minutes, and then another would take hours because they were not focused and just all over the place. And so I realized for us that an hour by hour schedule, school day routine would not work. And it was really frustrating. So instead, for our school routine, I would have like a general start time. Like even now, it's like, okay, we'll start anywhere from like 9 to 9:30. So the kids know, like, be ready for 9. Sometimes, we're still finishing up dishes or whatever, so it'll be a little later, but we have a general start time. We have a kind of a general order to the day. So we do a morning basket and then everybody goes on to their individual work and they're allowed to pick kind of whatever they want to start with. Um, so they do their schoolwork and then there's chores and other activities. There's free time throughout the day. So um, yeah, so that's kind of our routine. And so the kids know um, kind of what's expected of them. Like they don't even have to come to me anymore after school and be like, okay, now what do I do? They know, okay, it's time for chores. Like if I want to go play or go do something, I have to get my chores done first. Um, yeah, so that's how kind of our school routine. Everybody's going to look different. I know some people like to start later in the day. So it's going to look different for everybody, but having kind of a rhythm, an idea of how the day goes is helpful for everybody to know kind of the expectation and what the day looks like. So, yeah. Any questions or comments about that?
Not yet. Have you got visuals for the morning routine?
Mm,
So,
yeah, so I do. You want me to pop that up now?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so these are some of the resources. Okay, let's see. Share. Some of the resources I've created for creating a morning routine. And so this is for moms. And I've included in here kind of like a rundown about morning routines and what that looks like and how to plan them and, you know, what works for you and what would be helpful for you. Because for some moms, maybe their morning routine, what they really want is just to have a cup of coffee by themselves for 15 minutes before the day starts, you know. For other people, maybe they want to exercise and have a quiet time and get ready for the day. Like everybody's going to be different. So this is just kind of some ideas and suggestions. And then, sorry, scrolling quickly here, there's kind of a worksheet for creating your morning routine to find out like what's important to you, what are your non-negotiables, yeah, and what helps you feel like, you know, you're being proactive instead of reactive to the day and what's to come. So morning routine and schedule, and then there's also self-care checklist, daily habits and routines for planning and just keeping track of. And then there's also one for kids. So a routine checklist for them to help them stay on track. So that is for the morning routine.
And is that printable, or how do they find that if they want to either order it or get it from you so they can go through it themselves?
Yeah, so that is an ebook with printable pages. It is on, it's in my Instagram shop. Now that morning bundle is also included in the Simplified Homeschool Life Bundle as well. So it's individual or included in the bundle. And I can put the link.
It's I have it here. Rhythms of Grace Homeschool Life. Yeah. Okay. We'll get that in the chat there.
Thank you.
And I think that's also your Facebook link, right?
Pardon me?
Rhythms of Grace is also your Facebook site, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now in the bundle, what
Yes.
else is included?
Okay, so in the bundle, there is the Simplified Home Management Toolkit. And so that is like cleaning, organizing, decluttering, checklists and lists, different printables for managing the home, meal planning, shopping lists. And then there's the morning routine bundle, which we just looked through. There is also a planner for mom, and that includes like your calendars and your 2-page weekly spread. And on there, it's got lots of space, whether you want to plan school for the kids in your planner or their own planner. There's also student planners with different cover options and different layout options, because I know different people like different layouts for how they plan their lessons. Yeah, so that's all included in the bundle.
Could you show us what the cleaning and meal plan bundle or part of the bundle looks like?
Sure.
That'd be great. Then we can see how that works and how you use it, maybe.
Oops. Let's see here. Screen share.
That's a pretty house.
Okay. Yeah.
We wish, right? All of us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's showing okay?
Yes.
Okay. So the home management toolkit. So this is gonna have, sorry, I gotta roll through quickly here to get to the pages. Okay, so there's a declutter challenge, master declutter checklist, like for every room. There's a weekly planner for organizing, cleaning. You could use it for your day-to-day, depending on how you want to use it. Living room, dining room, like all the rooms in the house, a cleaning checklist. And then cleaning schedule. So daily tasks, and then a place for you to plan kind of what you're going to do for the week.
Can you scroll back and just show us your list of what you had on your, just above that?
Okay, so these are the things for home management. These are the things I recommend doing daily, just to kind of keep on top of the housework. And then, so that's the daily, and then below is Monday to Friday, and then the weekend, just different cleaning tasks that you want to do, things that you would do weekly, monthly, just to plan for them. And then, so there's different versions of that. This cleaning schedule is also another version. Like, people like to look at them differently. Some people like things vertically, some horizontally, like it just depends. This one is broken down by room. So Mondays it would be bedroom, and you can write in what you need to do. And then this one is blank, and you can pick what room you do which day. And then these cards, so I've actually cut these out and laminated them, and I give them to my kids so that they know what to clean. So whoever's on bathrooms, they'll take this little printable with them, and then they can go through and clean. And then there's a family chore chart or scheduling and delegating. And then there's the weekly meal plan.
Let's go back to the chores. So with chores, and so when my kids were younger, that grew from like the youngest doing like the dishwasher to when they were a little older, then they were the ones that actually washed the dishes, etc. But as they also got older, then we started adding like so-and-so's turn to cut the lawn.
Yep.
So-and-so's day to help mommy with weeding.
Yep.
Is that something that shows up, like we can use your chart that way?
Oh yeah.
To add those other external chore charts besides cleaning. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So family chore chart, just add whatever it is that the kids have to do. Yeah, like my boys will take turns with doing the yard, the weeding as well, lawnmower, mowing the lawn. So yeah, anything can be added. Excuse me, feeding the animals. And then there's a weekly meal plan, and then meals with shopping lists. So, I mean, I like to have my meal plan personally in different places. I will use this one on my fridge, and then I will write my shopping list, and I will take this with me shopping, because I like to see when I'm shopping, what meals I'm actually doing that week. And then another shopping list if somebody just wants something simple. So that is the home management toolkit. And then this is so this is part of the main planner. This is what I call the mom planner. So everything is undated, so it can be used anytime. So this will be the calendar, your monthly goals and your notes, and then the days. Sorry, just trying to find it here. Okay, and so this is what the days look like. So you have a space for weekly goals. Again, the daily habits on the side. I like to have everything in my planner, as well as the other pages printed and put up around the house for the kids to see, to know what they're to do. And then weekly cleaning, place for meals. Some people will use this like for appointments, work stuff, schooling, and then at the bottom, like whatever kind of notes you want to put. Oh, sorry, my screen is lagging here. There we go. And place for meals. So that is the bulk of the home life planner. And then there's also, I don't know if I've pulled up.
They're printables, like you could, if you wanted, print them hole punch them if you want to put them in a binder and
Yes.
have it open on your
Yeah.
desk or somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you can put them, like some people have put them in binders. Some people will coil bind them. It just depends. And then there's also, forgot to open that up. There's also student planner, different student planners that come with the bundle. Let's see here. Sorry. So there's different cover options for the student planners. This is one of the covers. And so yeah, like with the bundle, it's nice if you have multiple kids, they don't all have to have the same planner. They can all have a different planner. And also there's different layout options for how to plan the week, plan the lessons.
It's not showing straight. There it is. Okay.
There it is. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is another planner cover. And
These are
there's, I
really
think
nice.
I have, oh goodness, I want to say 4 or 5 different options for the layout. So the student planners, it can be for one student, it can be for multiple students. You can plan vertically, horizontally, like really, there's a lot of options there. And then there's different pages in there. So it is undated, but I have included the year at a glance for 24 and 25. Yearly plan, schedule, blank calendars for the students. There is like unit study printables, there's weekly schedule, like there's a lot of
When
reasons.
you have the boxes there for the students, do you feel what your expectations are for them? Or can they, as they get older, start creating their own?
Yes, both. So when the
Okay.
kids were younger, so I'll just show you one of the,
Because I remember, I was just thinking back, it's bringing back a lot of memories. It was very helpful to my young children at the time to see on a piece of paper or something, they're going, oh, I need to do math and I need to finish reading 3 chapters of this book. And mom wants me to do the dishes today or something. And then later on, I remember working with them saying, these are my long-term goals for you. Together, let's break it down.
yeah.
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 And
So,
then they're self-directed at that point.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
which is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Have them working independently. So yeah, when my
Absolutely.
kids were younger, I would write out their lesson plans. So like in the side here, I'd say math, these are the pages you're doing, or flashcards or whatever, social studies. And so I would write it out for them. And now they know kind of what the requirements are, and so they will write it out themselves. So this is just one option of the academic planner. So some of them are blank across the top. They have boxes, so that if you want to do like kids across the top and subjects on the side or whatever. So there's lots of different options for how to plan.
The question in the chat is, where can we access these templates? Is it on your Instagram page?
Yes. Yeah. Do you want me to drop the link, or?
I'm typing it in right now so you can keep talking here. Yeah. Rhythms of Grace, Homeschool Life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it should be in my link, my bio, up at the top of the page on Instagram. It will bring them to where they can find them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know for some people they're highly organized and they're going, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I've been looking for. For some other people, they're not highly organized, but they're looking at this as, wow, what a phenomenal tool. And they can piecemeal what they need to add into their life, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's not like you have to follow this
No.
to have smart kids and your day's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Led me to actually creating all of this was I was looking for resources for myself to help myself excuse me, stay organized. I was trying to find a planner. All the planners they were very academic focused, which was fine, but I needed to see like the lesson plans and my mom life and everything. Like I wanted to be able to see it all kind of in one place, or at least amongst a couple planners. But everything else was very much lesson plan heavy, and I needed something that worked for my whole homeschool mom life. And
Mhm.
so that's why I created the planner, and then creating the tools. And I tried following other people's like cleaning schedules and routines, and they didn't work for me. Like they would say, you know, you got to clean bathrooms on Monday. Well, Monday we weren't home all day. I needed to clean bathrooms on Friday, right? So I needed something that was flexible and would work with our life. And so in creating the tools, there the whole purpose of having like these tools and resources is to be a help. But if they're not helpful, if they stress somebody out, or if they're like, you know what, I don't actually have to fill out a cleaning plan, I already know what we're doing, great, then don't use it, right? But for somebody who actually wants to plan it and wants to see it, it's really good to have a place to write it down and plan it. And it's fun. Like I'm one of those people who will write something down after I've done it, just so I can check it off. And so it's nice to have like the checklists and kind of the focus. It helps you focus. And yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, and I was just thinking about that really good feeling of checking something off. For me, it's putting a line through it.
Yeah.
And for some people, it might be a check mark. But one piece of advice I heard very early on, and it was very helpful for me, is I may have this big list of my own, it's usually chores,
Yeah.
but it can be actually the child's schedule, school schedule. And so let's just talk about chores. If I didn't get it done, I just rolled it into the next day or the next best opportunity day to do it. And by the end of the week, it usually got done. And
Yeah.
so it wasn't like I was stressing myself out, like I didn't get it done on Tuesday. And my Wednesday is, there's no, like you just go, no, just roll it over. And eventually you get to put that line through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And same with the kids when they're learning, and if they're stuck on a math problem and they cannot grasp the concept and they need another week,
Yeah.
then you just got to like relax, and because comprehension and understanding is far better than like, oh good, they finished page 23 and I feel good about that, but they didn't remember a thing and you knew that they were struggling. And it's so much more important to slow down. And if they don't get to unit 2 till next month, then you take unit 1 out of the calendar and you focus on unit 1 until they've mastered, and then you start again in unit 2. And that's kind of the joy of homeschooling, is they're learning at their own pace. And they don't have to like get her done this week or get it done this month, because there's pressure from around us that they need to finish. Mastery is so much more important, and it all comes in its own time. And so the tools you've given us are very, very, very helpful in organizing all the parts of the day. Yeah. Lori, did you have any insight into any of this or comments you wanted to add?
I've just been putting them in the chat here. There's been a few things that work for me, and what you've described as morning baskets. And with younger kids, it's sometimes fun to have them do a craft or something, or work with blocks or something while you're reading, just to keep their attention. And honestly, some of my older kids even have done that. They would sketch or do some kind of a craft so they could have a longer attention span. And just with history, trying to make it as hands-on as possible, and those kinds of things. That was probably my favorite part of homeschooling, honestly, was our morning time together. And I agree, it really helps solidify our whole day when we could start at a certain time with our routine. So yeah, these are great ideas, and I love the organization and helpful tips. That's great, Grace. Thank you.
Grace, let's talk a little bit about evening routines.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you have a printable for that, or is it just a concept of helping us along here?
So I don't have a printable for that, but it is kind of part of the like the daily checklist. So on there I have like getting the dishes done and the kitchen cleaned up. I like to call it bringing it back down to ground zero, like it's ready for the next day. Yeah, and just like a general house tidy up, pick up. That's kind of the evening routine, which if that's done well, it helps the morning routine, right? If the dishes are done the night before and the kitchen's clean, and even if we, if we can get the dishwasher done, then it's ready to go the next morning. So that's kind of our evening routine.
Okay. Let's go back to talking about meals, because that was an area of weakness for me.
Yeah.
Probably because I don't really enjoy cooking. I did it out of necessity. I enjoy baking.
Yeah.
And so I always made time to bake with the kids, but the cooking was very stressful. And for others, it'll be something else. But from your experience, do you find that having something written for the week is more helpful?
Oh, yeah.
Or have an idea for the week and then kind of mix and match it, and like going, well, I think I'm going to swap Tuesday and Thursday because the day has changed and it's hard. Although the meat might still be frozen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I love having a meal plan because it does help me know what to shop for and know that I need to pull the roast out or I need to pull something out to thaw. And, but with my meal plan, like I've been doing it so long that I have the flexibility. Like I know how to, like, I'll look at the fridge and go, oh, I planned this for Thursday, but those ingredients don't have much time left and it's Monday. So I'm going to do that meal, Thursday's meal on Monday instead. So, yeah, like this has been a bit of a process for me because when I first started meal planning, I made it so complicated. It took me forever to plan, and I thought I had to have a fancy new meal every night. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought that was meal planning. And over the years, I have simplified it so much. And so I meal plan every week so that I know what to grocery shop for. But as far as like our breakfasts and our lunches, I have 7 to 10 ideas that I just rotate. So we eat a lot of the same thing, but it's simple. And I have the ingredients. Like if it's oatmeal, I tend to have a lot of oatmeal on hand because we buy bulk. So I don't have to shop for it every week. So I do that with breakfast and lunch. And the nice thing is too, like there's variety. So if we know we're having sandwiches every week, once a week, twice a week, I mean, we could have, I don't know, we could have like a turkey sandwich, or we could have, a grilled cheese or whatever. Like there's variety there. So the kids don't get bored of it. And they learned early on, they eat what they're given. Yeah, so for meal planning for breakfast and lunch, I'll write out 7 to 10 ideas and then just rotate through them each week, through the month. And then I do the same with dinner, but with a bit more variety. So like 25 to 30 meals, rotating those through. And yeah, so that helps with the meal planning. Sometimes I'll even take those meal plans and because I write it out, I'll just save it for another week. And then if I don't want to plan anything, I'll just pull that out and go, I guess we're doing these meals again. I like to do freezer meals. That's super helpful for the days that are just crazy busy, or I just don't want to cook. It's nice to have freezer meals on hand. And then as well for meals, to simplify things throughout the week, I like to prep things, say like Sunday or Monday. We'll do up like a bunch of hard-boiled eggs, and we'll chop up a bunch of veggies like like for a veggie tray so that we can just add those to our lunches or dinners, or just chop them up smaller for a salad, but they're already prepped. Things like energy bites or granola bars or muffins, like pre-making those. And then pre-making, I'll pre-cook like some ground beef or some chicken and just pull it apart and freeze it, because it's really quick to just add to a soup or to quesadillas or something. Like, I like to make meals as simple as possible. I like feeding my family well, but I don't want to spend the whole day in the kitchen. So those are some of the things that I do.
And how often do you incorporate your one of your kids to work with you and learn?
Almost.
Do you do that every day? Somebody's
Yeah.
on board with you, or you're down for lunch today or something like that?
Yeah, they all take turns with lunch. And then with dinner,
Okay.
sometimes it'll be a couple of them helping me. Sometimes it'll be one, sometimes all four. Like, it just depends. Sometimes I don't make dinner and they do. It just depends. So,
Yeah. I think I recall with the kids as they got older, I want to say from maybe ages, maybe 8 to 15 or so, or older, but I would give them like 2 or 3 lunch ideas
Yeah.
because I'd be tied up helping one of the other kids with their schoolwork. And I'd say, hey, to the other one, can you get lunch started? This is what's down for today. And they would have had experience learning how already to do it
Yeah.
with me prior, and now they're on their own. And so it's one of the other tips I recommend is always showing your children how to work, how to do a certain chore or food prep. So that frees mom up to do the more important things or more adult things with the child or whatever is required from the parent. And the child can start taking on some of the responsibility of just the basic duties in the home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Life skills. It's good.
Yeah, life skills. I know it's good. It's forever. And the thing with laundry, so some of you do laundry every day, and I started that way. And I got to a point where I went, I feel like I'm doing laundry every day, and it was actually driving me crazy. So my Fridays were typically a half day. By Friday morning, we piled, unless there was an emergency laundry load I had to do, but we actually we combined all our laundry Friday mornings, and all the darks here and all the lights here and cold water, hot water, whatever. And I taught them how to sort accordingly. And then I would just run the machine all day kind of thing. And it was not my favorite Friday night to be folding, but so we did a half day and then got the laundry started in the morning, finished up whatever was required to get done from the school week. And then by lunch, we were wrapped up. And then the afternoon, they were free to do whatever on their Friday afternoons. And sometimes we had co-ops on Fridays. And when that happened, so let's say we were doing a 6 or 8 week gymnastics co-op / we rented the ice rink in the afternoon for the same amount of time because we lived in a small town. We had to commute and drive into this town. And we spent the whole Friday doing a co-op, which was amazing. But here's my laundry. What do I do with my laundry? And then Saturday was like soccer, community leagues and all that, little league and all that. I went, when am I going to do this laundry? But somehow between Friday and Saturday, I got all the laundry done. And again, so I just want to say, put it out there. Everybody's got their own rhythm on how they handle things. For some, they want to do laundry every day. And for some, you may not want to, and you may want to do it on Tuesdays or whatever your day is. So yeah. Let's go back, Grace. So just going to wrap up here shortly, but you have some resources also that people can purchase.
Mhm.
And can you tell us what they are and how they can get those?
Yeah, so what I showed, those are resources that are for sale. So that is the Simplified Homeschool Life Bundle. So with that, it's all the resources I showed. So you've got your planners, mom planner, student planners, the home management, the Busy Mom's Guide to a Morning Routine, and there's other things in there. Lots of stuff in there. So that's the bundle. And then the home management kit, that is separate. You can purchase that separately. You can also purchase the morning routine ebook and printables separate as well. And then I do have planners separate as well. Those are not on Instagram. Those are actually in an Etsy shop. But the best deal is the bundle with all the things. So yeah.
Okay, now if they want to look at your Etsy stuff, is that information available on your two other links?
You know what? I don't know if I've ever linked them. And it's actually a different shop name. So I can drop that in the I can drop that in the chat.
Okay. And if they follow you on your Instagram and Facebooks, there's a way to communicate with you directly as well, like,
Oh yeah, if
send a
anybody has
message.
questions or wants to chat, yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Do I
Yeah.
just
Great. Yeah, fantastic. I love that you don't have to invent the wheel all over again. You can take part of these resources and make them your own.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility on the resources. Okay, so Grace has popped the etsy.com in the chat there if you guys want to jot that down or copy and paste. All right, so any closing comments, Grace? Anybody have questions they want to put in? You can pop it in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself if you want to throw in a question. There's a lot of information. I highly encourage you to go and check out her sites. It looks like ordering is only on Instagram, but you can also join the Facebook community, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
the
And
Facebook is basically the same as Instagram. I kind of cross post between the two. So
right. And you have newsletters as well, I guess, right?
yes.
Yeah. Wonderful. That's a great resource. Okay, so no further questions. Yeah, thank you. Do you have any closing comments, Grace?
Yeah, definitely that. I think sometimes people will see resources like this and get overwhelmed. And so I just want to say, like, they're tools that are meant to help you. And if they're not helpful, you don't feel like you have to use them, right? Like, they're there to support you in your goals and your journey. I know, like, personally, I had looked at different printables and planners, and I'm like, okay, it's more work for me to actually use that. That's not actually going to help me. But I felt like I had to use it because somebody said that's how I would organize my life. No, do what works for you. And yeah.
Yeah, my sister-in-law has 7 kids and she's done homeschooling. They're all adults now. And she would use different colors for each child. So it would stick out. So if you're using Grace's planner, and if I mean, 2 kids is easy to figure out, but if there's multiple children involved and delegate a colored pen for them, that's just another thing to throw in there, if that helps at all. I know it helped her a lot. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate everybody signing in. We're going to be back again September 24th. We are doing live webinars the 2nd and 4th Tuesday mornings of the month, 10 a.m. PST. And if you ever miss a session, you can go to our website under Homeschooling Revolution and look for the word webinars, and you will find all the previous webinars. They're on our website and they're also posted onto Rumble. And so they're shareable, they're easy to listen to in the car if you're doing a bit of a drive. Yeah, we just want to make them as available to everybody as possible. Thank you, everyone. We're going to say goodbye.